A two-child policy is a government-imposed limit of 2 children allowed per family or the payment of government subsidies only to the first 2 children. A two-child policy has previously been used in several countries including Iran, Singapore, and Vietnam. In British Hong Kong in the 1970s, citizens were also highly encouraged to have 2 children as a limit, and it was used as part of the region's family planning strategies. From 2016 to 2021, it has been implemented in China, replacing the country's previous one-child policy. In British Hong Kong, the Eugenics League was founded in 1936, which became the Family Planning Association of Hong Kong in 1950. The organization provides family planning advice, sex education, and birth control services to the general public of Hong Kong. In the 1970s, due to the rapidly rising population, it launched the 2 is enough campaign, which reduced the general birth rate through educational means. The organization founded the International Planned Parenthood Federation, with its counterparts in 7 other countries. The total fertility rate in Hong Kong is currently 1.04 children per woman, one of the lowest in the world. Although the 2 is enough campaign found widespread approval, it does not reflect current government policy in supporting families. Tax allowances of 100,000 Hong Kong dollars per child can be claimed for up to 9 children. Furthermore, parents who have fallen into hardship can apply for special assistance from the state. This is a means-tested financial benefit, which is not limited to a particular number of children either. From 1979 until 2015, Chinese citizens were generally permitted to have only 1 child, with certain exceptions. The ongoing Cultural Revolution and the strain it placed on the nation were large factors. During this time, the birth rate dropped from nearly 6 children per woman to just under 3. As China's youngest generation came of age for formation of the next generation, a single child would be left with having to provide support for their 2 parents and 4 grandparents. In response to this issue, by 2009 all provinces allowed couples to have 2 children if both parents were the only children of their parents themselves. After a policy change of the Chinese government in late 2013, most Chinese provinces further relaxed the policy in 2014 by allowing families to have 2 children if one of the parents is an only child. Han Chinese living in rural areas were often permitted to have 2 children, as exceptions existed if the first child was a daughter. Because of cases such as these, as well as urban couples who simply paid a fine to have more children, the overall fertility rate of mainland China is, in fact, closer to 2 children per family than to 1 child per family. In addition, since 2012, Han Chinese in southern Xinjiang were allowed to have 2 children. This, along with incentives and restrictions against higher Muslim Uyghur fertility, was seen as an attempt to counter the threat of Uyghur separatism. On 29 October 2015, Xinhua reported the change in the existing law to a 2-child policy, citing a statement from the Communist Party of China. The new policy allowing Chinese couples to have 2 children was proposed to help address the aging issue in China. On 27 December 2015, the new law was passed in the session of the National People's Congress Standing Committee, which governs country's laws, effective from 1 January 2016. In 2018, about 2 years after the new policy reform, China is facing new ramifications from the 2-child policy. Since the revision of the one-child policy, 90 million women have become eligible to have a second child. According to The Economist, the new 2-child policy may have negative implications on gender roles, with new expectations for women to bear more children and to abandon their careers. After the reform, China saw a short-lived boost in fertility rate for 2016. Chinese women gave birth to 17.9 million babies in 2016. But the number of births declined by 3.5% to 17.2 million in 2017, and to 15.2 million in 2018. In China, men still have greater marital power, which increases fertility pressure on their female partners. The dynamic of relationships and the amount of resources each parent has contributes to the struggle for dominance. Resources would be items such as income and health insurance. Dominance would be described as who has the final say in pregnancy, who must resign in their career for maternal, parental leave. However, Women have shown interest in a second child if the first child did not possess the desired gender. Chinese couples were also polled and stated that they would rather invest in one child opposed to two children. To add, another concern for couples would be the excessive costs of raising another child. China's childcare system needs to be further developed. The change in cultural norms appears to be having negative consequences and leads to fear of a large ag.